When you were little, did you ever play games where you got to do a do-over? You know, when something doesn't go quite as well as you wanted it to and you get to do it over? If you've ever been in a play or a sports team or music concert, you have got to do do-overs. It's called practice. You get to rehearse a scene in a play, and if you forget a line, you ask for a line, and someone will give you a prompt. If you're in a concert and you miss a note, you get to do it over. And in sport, you get to do it over. When I'm practicing golf, I have do-overs all the time. But how about everyday life? Do you give yourself a chance to have a do-over? We humans mess up all the time. And some people are really good at framing a mess up as learning, but lots and lots of people frame it as failure. They have an expectation in their mind, and when things don't go as planned, it impacts them like a failure. Listen to that again. When things don't go as they plan. A few years ago, I was in a play. We did the play, played the play, I don't know, showed the play, I don't know, however you say that, about 6 times over 2 weeks, and it went to plan. But we spent hour upon hour rehearsing the play for about 3 months before. Of course it went to plan. We had practiced. But in life, when you ask somebody out on a date, talk to a new client about a product, make a decision about something, or have to make changes in a business because of a global pandemic, you don't get months of rehearsal. In fact, you rarely get more than one chance. When we get down to it, staying with this metaphor, life is an improv. And we are attempting to do the best that we can in the moment with what we bring to that moment. And sometimes our moments are filled with resources, and sometimes we come a bit empty. But regardless of what we bring to the moment, we are doing the best we can with what we bring. But for some people, it's not good enough. It's not good enough because they either have this map in their mind about how it should be, how they should have done it, and maybe they feel guilty or remorseful, which leads to a feeling of being stuck and incongruent. I mean, how do you win an argument with that? I did the best I could have, but man, I should have done a lot better. Or it's not good enough because nothing is. When a person decides that their past template or their past is a template for the future, nothing will ever be good enough. Either because the glory days are behind us or because everything bad always happens to me. And they have proof for it. And this turns again into stuck, but this time with a hopeless demeanor. It turns into, what's the point? What's the point? Well, for one, I don't think that the point is to get it right, but to learn from what happened and find the happy in it. If you've been watching me for a while, you know my thoughts about life purpose is to be happy. It's not about being right, doing it right, getting it right, being perfect. It's about owning our moment and learning from it, letting it go and going again. Owning the moment, learning from it, letting go and going again. Letting it go and going again. In the book of Isaiah, it says, remember not the former things, nor consider the old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. We don't get a life rehearsal, we get life, but we do get do-overs. I have a beautiful friend who practices do-overs elegantly. I remember her sharing an experience with her young daughter. Her daughter called her into the room, Mom, come look at my amazing artwork. Maybe she didn't say that. But she had created this beautiful artwork with paint and buttons and sticks and clay all over the kitchen floor. Mom's reaction was one of surprise, but also anger. And when she caught herself in that anger, she yelled out, cut, and explained to her daughter that they needed to do the scene again. The next time she entered into the kitchen, she was surprised, enthusiastic, and full of love. Then she and her daughter cleaned up the art. Vanessa, if you're watching, you are an amazing mom. Absolutely. There's a practice in Buddhism called Sojung. Sojung gives us an opportunity to reflect on where we are in terms of life. And when we really make a mess of something, Sojung gives us a chance to put it behind us and start anew. Traditionally, Sojung takes place twice a month on the new moon and the full moon days. So so means restore, and Jung means to purify, to restore and purify. I'm quite sure there's a lot more to Sojung than just this practicing in Buddhist. But imagine for a moment if you were to be able to bring Sojung into your life twice a month, more if you need to. If you are able to reflect upon where you've been, what you've done, how you've done it, and who you are, and let go and start anew. Catholics do this with confession. Hindus do it with a ritual of accepting one's errors and misdeeds, reducing karmic consequences. In Islam, they have an act of seeking forgiveness. Judaism also has confession, as well as multiple other Christian religions and general religions. Do we need a religion? Actually, here's my question. Do we need to seek forgiveness? Do we need to share our mishaps with others for God or the universe to listen? Do we need to prostrate, to go to synagogue or mosque or church to release our burdens? What if you were to do your own Sojung, wherever you need it, wherever you are? Your own realizing that humanness comes with errors, and we learn from those errors. Humanness contains mistakes, mishaps, misunderstandings, and F-ups. And with that comes permission to let go. But it's a choice. Not only do humans come with humanness, part of that humanness is a judgment of oneself. I should have done better. I could have done differently. Oh, why didn't I? Why did I? And so on and on and on. Again, some folks are great at their own Sojung. Others are still holding on to something that happened decades ago, something that most likely they did their best with the knowledge and the understandings and the resources they had then, and can't do a damn thing about it now. Regardless of your past, the future, it's not dictated by it. The future is yet to be written. Of course, if you didn't learn from the past, or you refuse to let it go, or you're haunted by making mistakes, you will continue to live that pattern over and over and over. But it doesn't have to be that way. No matter what happened in the past, in your job, relationship, a business venture, you have a chance now to do it over. Or you can hang on. This reminds me of two traveling monks. They reached a town and saw a young woman who was stepping out of her sedan chair. The rains that came down had made deep puddles, and she couldn't step across without spoiling her beautiful silken robes. She stood there looking very cross and impatient. She was scolding her attendants. They had all these packages and they didn't have any place to put them, so they couldn't help her cross the puddle. The younger monk noticed the woman and did nothing, just walked by. The older monk quickly picked her up, put her on his back, and he transported her across the water and put her down on the other side. She didn't thank the older monk. She just shoved him out of the way and kept on walking. As the monks continued on their journey, the young monk was brooding and preoccupied. After several hours, unable to hold on to his silence, he spoke. "That woman back there, she was very selfish and very rude, but you picked her up, you put her on your back, and you carried her, and then she didn't even thank you." The other monk said, "I set the woman down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" I'm Dr. Heidi Heron. This is my Monday message, and I look forward to sharing again with you soon.